Hey everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my American Girl collection. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you all of the dolls that I collected in the year 2023. And this is technically a part 3 in a mini series that I'm currently doing on introducing all of my dolls in my collection. So in part 1, which is this video right here, I talked about all the dolls in my childhood collection and in my sister's collection. And then in part 2, which is this video right here, I introduced everyone to my dolls that started my adult collection, and that would have been from 2021 to 2022. So feel free to go back and watch those videos if you would like to. If not, feel free to keep hanging out here and we can talk about my dolls in 2023. So in February of that year, I went to the American Girl store with my sister, which was super cool, especially if you've seen my previous videos. I talk a lot about my sister since we collected American Girl together as kids. So it was really cool to go there with her, our first time going together since we had been little. And even though she doesn't collect American Girl as an adult, it was awesome to have her there to help me pick out a doll and just experience that together again. So she helped me pick out Miss Avet, and she is from the World by Us line, and I think this doll is absolutely stunning. I also love the World by Us line in general. So I'll bring her up to the camera so you can see her a bit closer, and she is just a beautiful doll. I have her right now in this Pleasant Company outfit, and I forget the name of it. Feel free to drop the name in the comments if you know it. And I just can't seem to bring her out of this outfit. She's actually been wearing it for over a year, but it's okay because she looks adorable in this. I've put her in a couple different outfits from Pleasant Company, and I think that they just really suit her, and I've just fallen in love with her in purple. So I don't think I'm going to take her out of this outfit anytime soon, although I probably should. But Avet's the type of doll that she just looks amazing in anything you put her in. So after seeing her in this outfit, I've just had a hard time with taking her out of it. So this is my Avet doll. I added the next doll to my collection in March of 2023, and this doll is actually a custom doll. So at the time, I was starting to watch more AGTube videos, seeing more people posting dolls on Facebook or Instagram, and I started to notice that there were a lot of custom dolls. And for some reason, the thought had never occurred to me as a kid that you could customize an American Girl doll. I don't know why, but maybe it was a good thing because I'm not sure if I would have been the best customizer when I was little. But when I did find out about custom dolls, I fell in love with the idea and the creativity. And I was on a website, Oh Dear Custom Dolls, and I saw one doll, and I just knew that I had to have this doll in my collection. However, she did sell, and so a couple months later, I reached out to Oh Dear Custom Dolls and asked if there was any way it could be replicated, and she was able to, which I was so grateful for. And here she is. This is Fiona. She is one of my favorite dolls in my collection, and I know I said before that I was not going to be picking favorites when it comes to my dolls, but I lied. You know, all the dolls know that she's one of my favorites, so that's okay. And I'll bring her up closer so you can see her adorable face. She was made from a Truly Me 119. She originally had the blue and purple wig and blue eyes, and now she has brown eyes in this adorable red curly bob. So cute. And her hair is very soft as well. She looks adorable in anything I put her in. She is Irish in my collection. She has a whole backstory that I can talk about in another video. And I just have her wearing this casual outfit. This is the shirt from Isabelle and Nikki's collection. And then these shorts and these lavender Crocs were from an online seller who I think is based in Pennsylvania. Yeah, so this is Fiona, and she is the first of 4 custom dolls that we're gonna see in this video today. And that's because I went a little crazy in 2023 when I figured out that you could customize an American Girl doll. So here she is. So a few weeks later, I was on Facebook Marketplace, as I sometimes do, and I saw a listing for a Grace Thomas doll, Girl of the Year 2015. However, this listing was nowhere near me, so I'm not really sure how it ended up popping up as local to me. But I reached out to the seller and I asked if there was any way I could have Grace shipped to me, and she was absolutely more than willing to ship her, which was awesome. And this Grace doll was actually a doll from her daughter's collection, and I just thought that that was so sweet that she shared that with me. And I just think that Grace is a stunning doll. I have her right now in this something navy spring dress, but at the time, what really caught my eye about this specific Grace doll is she didn't come in her meet outfit. She came in Mary Ellen's vacation playsuit. And if you're familiar with that outfit, I'll put a photo right here. It's pretty expensive and hard to find on the secondary market. I think the prices I usually see when I look this outfit up is about $100. However, I don't remember the exact price I paid for Grace, but including shipping, it was about $65, maybe $70. But either way, that's a good price to include that outfit and then also this doll. So not only was I able to add Grace to my collection that day, but this was also an outfit that I had thought I would never be able to own. So yeah, it was a good day in March of 2023. So now it is April of the same year, and once again I'm shopping on Facebook Marketplace and I see a listing show up as local to me, and this time I double checked, it actually was local, and they were selling a lot of $5, and I asked if they'd be willing to split up the lot since I was really only interested in 3 of the dolls, and thankfully they were willing to do so. So I did end up adding 3 dolls to my collection this month, which was kind of a lot for me. I had never added 3 dolls or even 2 dolls to my collection in the same day. So this was a first, definitely not something that I wanted to make a habit of, but it was a really great deal. And then also it was a really hard week at work. We all had those difficult weeks, and the dolls came at the perfect time. So the first doll is Miss Sage Copeland, Girl of the Year 2013, and I fell in love with this doll when I saw her in the listing. I just think she is a just particularly beautiful Sage, and Sage was actually the last Girl of the Year that I did see release before I stopped collecting as a kid. And I'll turn her around so you can see her hair too. So I did have to restore her curls a bit, but overall they were in pretty good shape. So that is still some of her original curl. And I just have her in this cute little mix and match outfit. The shoes are from Temu, the shorts were from my Oh Dear custom doll, and the shirt was from an Etsy seller, which I will also list in this video. So this is my Sage doll, and she was the first doll from that lot. Okay, so the next doll in the lot was Nenea, and this was a doll that was on my radar ever since I stepped foot in American Girl again when I picked up my Courtney. And I did almost walk away with Nenea that day, and the only thing that held me back was the Nenea mold was new to me, and it was released when I wasn't collecting, so it took me a while to get used to the new face molds and see them as being American Girl since they weren't canon in my mind at that time. So I do love though the Nenea face mold, and this mold has actually become one of my favorite molds by American Girl, and I just have her here in one of her cute little outfits. Yeah, and this outfit I also had to track down secondhand, and I ended up getting a great deal on this outfit too. So it had came with a lot of other items, and thankfully the seller didn't raise the price crazy because of this outfit, so I kind of lucked out on that. So grateful to have this doll and grateful to have this cute little outfit in her collection. And this is just unrelated, but I would love to eventually collect all of Nenea's outfit, most of her collection, just because I do really love a lot of her outfits, which I don't have that goal for all of my historical dolls, but I do have that for Nenea, so she's definitely a special doll to me. The last doll was actually a CYO. Yeah, that's right. And that is honestly the main reason I reached out to the seller, beyond the fact that I did want Sage and Nenea in my collection at some point. When I did see that there was a CYO in the listing, I was just shocked because this is actually my first CYO and also my first time ever seeing a CYO in person or even on a listing local to me. And she is a Sonali face mold. She has the older face mold and she has dark blue eyes and freckles. She honestly reminds me of Sage with some of her her details, and I almost wonder the story behind these two dolls. If maybe they had two kids and maybe one was really in love with their sibling Sage doll, so maybe they decided to create one on the CYO generator as close to Sage as possible. But even though there are some of those similarities, they are still very different dolls, and I'm still very grateful to have both of them in my collection. So again, with this doll, I did fix up her curls a bit, but overall they weren't in bad shape. And I've named her Penny in my collection, and she's also one of my historical dolls. I have my own dolls that are part of my historical line that I've created. So Penny is one of them. So maybe I'll share more about that in another video. And I just have these cute little jellies, and I got this at a retail shop in Pennsylvania online. And then I have her wearing this adorable butterfly embroidered pair of shorts. And this was also from that same retail shop, so I'll make sure to list that as well. And then I think this is from the swimsuit. I want to call it like the berry red swimsuit from American Girl. It was released in stores years ago, but I bought it secondhand. So this is Penny, and she's my first CYO doll in my collection. So after having that wonderful opportunity to add 3 dolls in my collection in a short amount of time, I decided that I was going to take a break, and I would love to say to you all that that was a long break, but it wasn't. Because in June, I saw a doll listed on a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and it was a doll that had been on my radar for a while since coming back to collecting as an adult, and that is number 58. And I have named her Athena in my collection, and she is just absolutely stunning. So usually she's dressed in different dresses, but I have been kind of playing with her style recently. I had her wearing a couple Pleasant Company outfits recently. This dress is actually from Temu, and then I have her wearing this random like diamond anklet that I found somewhere. And then these shoes are white Converse from Temu. And I just think she is such a beautiful doll. She is also a historical doll in my collection. And yeah, I love having her. And when I got back into collecting, this doll really stood out to me. And I did remember her from when I was a kid. So she did stand out in that way as well. But I was very grateful to add her to my collection. So that was really the main reason why I didn't last as long as I did in taking a hiatus from adding dolls to my collection. So my birthday is in July, and I did have some birthday cash saved up. So once again, I hopped back on to Facebook Marketplace, and I did end up adding 3 dolls to my collection that month, which again is kind of a lot for me. But at the time, I found some really good deals, like back to back, so I just couldn't pass on them. So the next 2 dolls actually came in a lot. And the first doll is Isabelle, and she's Girl of the Year from 2014. So this doll I was not collecting when she released, but there was a point in time, probably till maybe 2017, where I would make a point every January 1st to log on to the American Girl website to see who the new Girl of the Year doll was. So I did actually look at this doll while she was released, but I wasn't actively collecting at that point. So yeah, I was very grateful though to add her to my collection, also at such a great deal too. And she's just wearing this really cute outfit from Toy Story. I think it's Disney I Love You, I think is the brand, or Disney Illy. And it is the Pizza Planet set, and her shoes are so cute. So they are the hard plastic, but I just think they are adorable. And Miss Isabelle has been wearing this outfit for quite some time now, so next time I do a dressing my dolls video, I think she will definitely be included in that. And I don't know why I said next time, because I've never filmed a dressing my dolls video, but I'm definitely planning though to include her. So the second doll in that lot was Leah, Girl of the Year 2016, and I love this doll. She, again, was not a doll that I saw while I was collecting, but I did just happen to see her sometime in January when I remembered to check the American Girl website, and I remember thinking, wow, she's a gorgeous doll. And I do love her eyebrows. I know that a lot of collectors say that. She does have very unique eyebrows, and she's just a very stunning doll. So I have her in this mix and match outfit because Leah can just wear anything and it looks good. So the t-shirt is from the American Girl place in, I'm trying to read it backwards, Chicago. And I've never been to the Chicago store, but I got this shirt secondhand. And then these shorts are those same shorts that I showed before that I love from Temu. And these socks are so adorable. They have little monkeys on them. And I got these actually at that online Pennsylvania resale shop, so I'll make sure to include that too. Yeah, so this is my Leah doll. Okay, so this doll right here is actually my first custom doll that I made, and she is actually a Jess base. So I bought her off of Facebook Marketplace as a Jess doll, and I bought her this wig, and I'm blanking right now on where I bought the wig, so I'll make sure to include that, like, probably right here on the screen somewhere. And she has this beautiful red hair, red bangs. I didn't do an eye swap. I've yet to do an eye swap. So maybe one day I'll figure that out when it comes to customization. And she's just wearing this really cute outfit. This headband is from one of Julie's outfits, this red sweater from a Truly Me set, and then these white shorts are from Truly Me 91. And then the shoes actually I got from Temu. So I have named her Vienna in my collection, and overall I'm pretty proud of the way she's turned out. I think she's just a really cute doll. I love bangs on the Jess mold, and besides Jess, she was the second Jess mold to be added to my collection. Actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, she's only the second doll in general of the Jess mold that I have. So I only have her and Jess. And yeah, I'm very grateful that I took that leap of faith to customize her. So this next doll I bought right before I went on vacation. So that wasn't the best idea because she did arrive while I was away, but thankfully I did think of asking the seller to send her to a different address, so I was able to pick her up at my parents' house when I returned from vacation. And she is another custom doll. As promised, this was kind of the year of custom dolls, and I bought her from Oh Dear Custom Dolls. And here she is. So she is a Sonali face mold. She was actually made from a number 112, and that means she has the newer Sonali face mold. And in her collection, in my collection, her name is Kesha. So I am still kind of working on what her story is gonna be. I've thought about making her like a 2000s doll. I've thought about including her in like my 90s world, but yeah, I'm not really sure yet her place. But I do absolutely love this doll, and this is a doll that I definitely just love to pick up and just stare at sometimes. I just think she has such a beautiful face, and her hair is so soft. And this outfit I have actually had on her for quite some time, and that is because I love it. I love it on her, and she's definitely sportsy in my collection, that I do know. She's always wearing athletic gear. So I have this really cute smiley face top that I bought from, I believe, the Glam Doll. And then I have these shorts that are American Girl, which, by the way, these shorts are actually some of my favorite American Girl shorts for some reason. Whenever I see them come up, like on a Facebook listing, I'm always trying to grab these shorts. I think they go to the soccer set that came out in like the early 2000s, but they just work for so many outfits. And then lastly, her shoes are once again Converse from Temu. Yeah, so this is Kesha in my collection, and I'm just very grateful to have her, and I just think she's just a stunning custom doll. So while I was on vacation, I was in Portland, Oregon at the time, and there was some sort of deal happening on the American Girl website, probably for back to school because it was in August, and I decided to order a doll. So when I got home, I had Kesha waiting for me as well as this doll. And the doll that I ordered is Miss Cubby, and she is Girl of the Year 2023. So I did end up getting her in August of the year she released, which is kind of on purpose. So with the exception of Krissa, I've always collected the Girl of the Year doll later in their year. Usually towards the end of the year, and I think that's just because as a kid, I didn't always have that accessibility or the money to be able to purchase the doll as soon as they came out. And then also it created that level of excitement and anticipation of looking at the doll at either the store or usually just online or in the catalog for the entire year, in anticipation of hopefully getting them for Christmas. So that was one reason why I waited to get Cubby until August, after I had that excitement built up the entire year. So with this sale, it was a perfect timing to do so. And I just think Cubby is such a gorgeous doll. And I have her wearing this mix and match outfit as well. The shirt is from a karate set from the Truly Me line. The skirt actually goes with the shirt that Vienna was wearing earlier from American Girl. And then these shoes are actually currently available on the American Girl website, unless they've sold out, but I don't think they have. So yeah, this is Cubby, and I just think she's a gorgeous doll, and it was really neat to see the Marie Grace mold being used again. She's actually the first Marie Grace mold in my collection. Not the only one, but she was the first one at the time. So this next doll I added to my collection in September, and this doll was a completely unexpected purchase. You might have just seen her peek her head up a bit, but completely unexpected. I did want to add this doll to my collection because I do have a goal of adding all the historical dolls in my collection at some point, and this doll is one I've always thought was beautiful. Unfortunately, she came out close to when I stopped collecting, so she was a doll that I had never added to my collection as a kid, but she's also pretty hard to find and can go for a pretty penny on the secondary market now. So you might have some guesses in your mind of who this doll could be. Historical doll, pretty expensive, and came out probably around 2012 to 2011, 2013. Don't know exactly her release year. But if you guessed it, the doll is Cecile. So I found this doll on a Facebook marketplace group, and the seller was selling her basically new in box. She had been taken out of the box, but she did come with her original box, and to me, she looks pretty untouched. I'm assuming maybe they were an adult collector, but maybe they had the intentions of just reselling her one day. The reason they sold her at a discounted price though was because she had like a musty smell, maybe from being stored in an attic or in a space that probably wasn't the best for her. So because of that, she was listed for cheaper than what you would find a Cecile doll for, especially one at this condition. So because of that, I ended up jumping on the opportunity to get her. And also because, although as much as I love Cecile, this was a doll I was thinking would be one of the last dolls I'd add to my historical line, is because I was pretty picky on the Cecile. Although all of them are beautiful, I don't have all of the skills, at least at this point in my collecting journey, to restore doll hair. So I was trying to find a doll as mint as possible without being too pricey. So with those specific hopes, I figured it was going to be a while till I found one. So adding her to my collection this early after getting back into collecting was just completely surprising to me. So I'll bring her closer so you can just see how beautiful she is. She still has her pin curls and really all of her curls. I'll turn her around. So she is just a stunning, stunning Cecile. And her legs are a little loose, but not too bad. I'm thinking maybe she was displayed at some point. So yeah, this was in September, and I'm just so grateful to have her to my collection. And honestly, this doll just really spoke to me out of any other Cecile I have seen listed. So sometimes you just need that right doll to really speak to you, because as we know, there can be variations even between the same mold or the same doll. So sometimes you just need that right one that really stands out to you. So this is my Cecile, and I look forward to hopefully adding some more outfits to her collection because I've actually never changed her out of this outfit. I'm waiting to hopefully be able to add one of her outfits to my collection, and then I'll be able to change her into that. So I did just do a quick Google search, and Cecile was released in 2011. So I just wanted to hop on here and say that before jumping into the next doll. And this next one was also from a Facebook Marketplace group, and I got her a little bit after I got Cecile, but there was some space in between. And she's a CYO doll, and I just fell in love with her in the listing photos. I'll go ahead and put her on the screen so you can also fall in love with her too. And I've named her Bindy in my collection. So she is the Sonali face mold, and I can't remember if she's the newer or the older face mold. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. And I don't actually know the specs on her. The seller who I bought them from, she couldn't remember exactly, but she does have the Marie Grace eyes, so like the gray eyes, and she's just such a beautiful doll. And here's Mary Ellen's vacation play suit that I had referenced earlier. I love putting it on this doll, and I just love dressing this doll in general. She's actually currently my profile photo for this YouTube channel, and she's definitely one of my favorite dolls just to have like sitting somewhere, whether at my desk when I'm doing work, or just sitting on the couch. She's just such a beautiful doll to look at. So that's the main reason why I decided to buy this doll when I saw her. And at the time, I actually had to kind of gather the money for her. So I had reached out to the seller because she had listed her a few days ago, and I was surprised that no one had bought her off of the group that I'm in because she's just so beautiful. So I reached out to the seller and said, if she's still available by Friday, please let me know, and I'd be interested in purchasing her. So in between that time, which I think was Tuesday, and Friday, I sold a lot of my wedding decorations from my husband and I's wedding that I had been putting off for a while in order to get the money to purchase her. So Friday came around, and I was able to sell enough of the decorations pretty quickly to be able to purchase her for the price that she was asking. So I reached out to the seller, and she said that she was available, and I was pretty surprised because I just absolutely love this doll. So I can't say enough good things about her, but this is my only other CYO doll in my collection besides Penny, so both are very special to me. And as I'm currently filming this video too in April of 2025, I'm not sure what's going on with the CYO generator. I've heard some people have some different ideas, but currently it's unavailable through American Girl. So I've actually never had the opportunity to create a CYO myself. I would love to do that if that ever comes back on the website, but if not, I am grateful for having Penny and Bindy in my collection. So now we're getting close to the end of 2023, and after adding both Cecile and Bindy to my collection closely to each other, I decided to once again take a break from adding dolls to my collection. But you might have guessed it, it didn't last long because of Facebook Marketplace. So I saw two dolls listed, historical dolls actually, that I wanted to add to my collection, and they were both priced really well. So I reached out to the seller, and she was local to me, and she said I could stop by and look at the dolls. However, one doll was actually already pending by somebody else who was planning to pick her up. So I said, no problem, I'll still love to come over and look at the other doll. So I came, I looked, and I bought Miss Cecile here. Did I say Cecile? Caroline. Sorry about that. I was just talking about Cecile. So anyways, I bought Caroline, and she is so beautiful. And what really stood out to me was the fact that she still had her hairnet on. So because of that, her curls are pretty they're pretty minty. However, there are some areas where I feel like they might be kind of wonky just because they spent so much time in the hairnet. But overall, I can't complain. I never expected that I would find a Caroline doll still with her hairnet in all these years later. So I'll bring her up to the camera. I actually don't know if she is Be Forever Caroline or not, and I would love to know if you could tell based off of seeing her here which one she could possibly be. And I have her wearing this mix and match outfit. The top is from Nikki Girl of the Year 2007 collection. These are the cargo pants from Girl of Today. And then these sandals are from American Girl recently. I think they might still be on the website unless they have sold out. So I was so grateful to add Caroline to my collection, and for the price I paid for her, I just had to. However, that was part of what made that day great. But the second part of what made that day great was when I got there, the seller told me that the other person had backed out on buying the other historical doll. So I did end up taking her home with me as well. And this doll was also in really great condition, and it is Elizabeth. And she actually came in this outfit, as well as her meat outfit, which I was just floored because this outfit is also difficult to find. And I think it's called her holiday gown, but I don't know that for sure. But I'll bring her closer to the camera as well. I actually had a friend growing up who had Elizabeth in her childhood collection, so when we would play with our dolls together, I always admired just how beautiful her Elizabeth doll was. However, when I was a kid, Elizabeth was one of the dolls that my sister had called, and what that means is whenever we'd look at the catalog together, we would take turns calling which dolls we wanted to add to our collections. So for instance, when American Girl released Ruthie, I called Ruthie, which meant my sister couldn't buy Ruthie. So my sister had called Elizabeth, which meant I could not buy Elizabeth. However, when Elizabeth retired, my sister wasn't really interested in getting her. She was focused on other dolls at the time, so that was okay. But that just meant that she just was never a part of our childhood collection. So I was really cool to add her to my collection. And something else that makes both Caroline and Elizabeth very special is they were actually part of a adult collector collection. So they were owned by an adult collector, and she had passed, and the lady who I had bought the dolls from was helping to sell her collection. And so that also just made it very special to me, knowing that these dolls were also loved by an adult collector. So I definitely have them in my collection permanently in honor of her. And I was very grateful for the opportunity to pick them up together too. That way both of them were able to stay together and were not separated. In December of that year, my husband decided to get me something off of Facebook Marketplace that I had helped him pick out, and I went with him to go pick it up because it was about an hour away, so we decided to make it like a fun trip. So it included a doll and a couple outfits, and the doll was actually Nenea. However, as you saw earlier, I already added Nenea to my collection, so this doll I had other plans for. I bought a custom wig, which I can't remember exactly where it's from, so I'll include that right here, and I decided to customize this Nenea doll. So here she is, and her name is Sakura in my collection, and I will bring her up closer so you can just see how beautiful she is. And this outfit I think just fits perfectly with her gorgeous hair. So I had this custom picked out in my mind for a while. This is the traveling outfit in Japan. And then these are some really cute bunny shoes that I got off of Temu. Adorable. And I'll turn her around too so you can see more of the colors in her hair. So at this point in time, I was starting to fall deeper into the world of customs, and I also was starting to fall in love with the dolls with colored hair. So at this point I only had Corinne, and then now Sakura, but I was just falling in love with the dolls that had like the natural color hair with some level of like colorful highlights. So that was really her inspiration, and it was just really special that my husband thought about getting me a gift from Facebook Marketplace, since obviously I was pretty into it at the time, and that I was able to go with him. That was a fun trip together, and I did have to wait to open her until Christmas morning, and then I customized her after that. I had already bought the wig. So this is my second custom doll that I created. So this is where things once again went a little crazy, because the end of the year sale 2023 happened, and in my opinion, this has been the best end of the year sale I've seen from American Girl, but I'm also going from my limited experience of only collecting for the last 3 years as an adult. But definitely let me know if you've seen any better deals than what we saw in the end of 2023. But that was the year where they had the World by Us dolls on sale for I think $65, and at one point $58. They also had a lot of the new Truly Me's that were released in 2022 on sale for good prices. And I also remember that end of year sale lasted a long time. Not only did it last the end of the year in December, but it also carried into January too. So I was so tempted to place a couple orders, and I've seen a couple videos where other people definitely did, which is great because it was such a great sale. And I honestly saved up hoping that 2024 end of the year sale was going to be just as great, but in my opinion, it didn't live up to it. But that's okay, because I did take advantage of the 2023 sale. So I added Miss McKenna to my collection, and she was definitely a priority for me because I did want to complete the World by Us line, and I had also had my eye on this doll for a very long time, and I just think she's absolutely stunning. And I have her in this really cute outfit from an Etsy seller, and I'll include the seller's name right there. And I have just loved having this doll. One of my favorite outfits to put on her is actually Joss's, I think it's called her beach jumper. I'll insert a photo over here so you know what I'm talking about. But I currently have my Kaylee doll wearing it. But I put this on McKenna for months. And when I moved last year, I had to put away my doll collection for a couple months. But for some reason, the hardest doll to put inside that box was Miss McKenna. I had just fallen in love with this doll. This doll was everywhere. If I was studying, she was there. If I was watching TV, she was there. So it was hard to put her in that box. So actually about a few weeks into my living situation, living with my in-laws for a bit, I actually went back and took McKenna out of storage because I was just thinking about her and I wanted to have her there with me. So she's just absolutely a beautiful doll. And if I'm not mistaken, she might still be available on the American Girl website. So if you have not bought McKenna, I highly recommend this doll. I love all the dolls from the World by Us line, but I've definitely, I think, bonded with McKenna the most. The next doll that I got from the end of the year sale was number 77. So here he is. His name is Sam, and what also makes him special was not only was he my first boy doll in my collection, but he's also my nephew Grayson's doll. And I know that he's been watching my channel and he's been asking his mom when I was going to show him. So I said I would make sure to show him in my next video. So this is Sam, and he's wearing this really cute top from Courtney's collection. The jeans, I believe, are the jeans that he came in, and then these really cute black shoes that I think they go to one of the holiday sets. So this is Sam, my nephew's doll, and I do have one other boy doll that I added to my collection more recently that I will probably be introducing in another video. Okay, so we made it to the last doll that I added to my collection in 2023. And again, this doll came from the end of the year sale, and she is number 109, and I've named her Ammani in my collection. And she's wearing this really cute, I don't know if it was Girl of the Year or if it was Just Like You at the time, but this really cute outfit from American Girl. And I'll bring her to the bit closer so you can still see her beautiful gray eyes. And I have her in these adorable pigtails. She has like pink and red in her hair. And I just think that it matches perfectly with this outfit. So I've actually had her in this outfit for a while, and this is another doll that when I bought her, I definitely became obsessed with her. So I of course did have to pack her away with the rest of my dolls when I moved, but when I pulled McKenna out from storage, I also pulled out this doll too. So I've loved having Ammani in my collection, and she was the first doll that I had purchased from the I guess 2022 Truly Me dolls that were released, so that also made her special. And yeah, I just think that she's such a stunning doll. I'd love to add 80 to my collection too, which I've heard is also a beautiful doll, and I love the fact that she has textured hair. So I definitely, after having this doll, has made me think more about adding number 80 to my collection too. So if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I have no idea how long this is gonna be, and actually this is my second day of filming. I had to take a break because it was starting to get a little dark, so I was losing some of the natural lighting. But again, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe or leave a comment down below, I would love to get to know some more people here on AgeTube. I've just loved talking to everyone in the comments, and it's just been so great seeing how supportive everyone is in this community. And as I mentioned in, I think, my first video, the main reason why I decided to start a channel was because I don't know any adult collectors in real life who collect American Girl, so I was just looking for a way to share my hobby with other people who also share the same passion that we have for American Girl and other dolls. So thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Bye, and take care.